Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Life with Latoya. I want to start off by just thanking everyone that came out and was supporting the premiere last week. Thanks for everyone that took time out to watch it, not only watch it, but subscribe and have decided to be a part of this journey, because I'm excited to take this journey with you all. I want to go right in and dive right into the keys. For those of you that are just tuning in last week, which is why I encourage you to go back and watch the last video that was made. We talked about the keys to life, and I will not go over them all tonight, but we are going to dive in the first key, which is who we are. Knowing who you are and owning who you are. So, knowing who you are. And I'm just going to go right on in. So, in life, sometimes to get to your best self, you have to know who you are in order to even have direction on where you're going. So we're defined in life through so many different things defined us. We are shaped or defined by our past, our upbringing, our childhood, the traumas that came with that. It could be our achievements. It could be things that people spoke of our life, whether good or bad. It could even be things we've spoke over our own lives based off of the impacts of things that have happened to us. And sometimes it can even be we're defined by our achievements. Some people feel that they are not whole or who they are until they've become, this famous person, or maybe accomplished this career, went to school, whatever it is. Those things may have an impact on your life, but they definitely do not tell you who you are. So I am going to share with you my personal experiences on how I got to who I am, of knowing who I am. And I am a firm believer that in order to access who you truly are, you have got to go in and do the internal work inside of yourself for that discovery. That takes a lot of healing, owning, identifying. That might be conversations you haven't had with people so that you can forgive and release them. That might be many things. But it's the internal, intestinal process that has to happen in order for you to get past the residue or the chaos or all of the superficial, the surface things that a lot of times we use to define us, to discover our true self. For me, it took a lot of the choices I made. So for me, it was the things that I had not healed from in my past, starting from being a little girl. And of course, it did not initially start there. It was a lot of different choices I made, compromises I made from just not knowing who I was, owning who I was, because I had no clue. I was pretty much just existing, living the best way from a survivor mode through life. And it took for me to hit a very, very, very many hard places I hit, but not every hard place brought me to a place where I surrendered to finally just say, who am I? What am I doing? Where am I going? What is this all for? So I had hit a very, 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 very dark place in my life. And I was running to God because I was raised in the church all my life. So my life was pretty much all I knew was to pray. And in my relationship with God that I had developed through the years, I prayed. But I went to God just praying and asking God to help me. But I was almost at a place where I wanted him to get people. Like, get them. God, they did this, or a specific person rather at that time. And it's, to those that believe in God, I don't know where each and every last one of you are. And respectfully, you are where you are, whatever it took for you to get to where you are. But for me, it was my relationship with God. And when I went to God, one thing about God is he'll always show up. But because he's a God of order, he had to take me to the root of me. He said, yeah, I know you want me to fix this. But in order for me to fix this, I got to show you where it all began. And he began to take me all the way back to my childhood. And there were some hard realities that I had to face, some hard truths I had to accept, some hard things that I had to see, whether it was through, because it's like he took me on this journey of showing me exactly how I became. But we're not just where we are, right? We never just wind up, this is just who I am or how I am. Something always happens to get us where we are. And so once I began to see the cycle pattern, and I'm talking about, I started with people that gave birth to me, people that were influenced in my life, like family members before I even got here. Or when I became here, before my life became my responsibility, and I had to. And God allowed me to see the patterns and how things were not broken and how they passed down and how they were handled. And I was facing some of them same crossroads and having to make a different decision from a place of chaos, not even knowing who I am, but trying to discover who I am by where I've been. And so what I had to do to get to a place of learning who I was, I had to see it. I had to accept it, and I had to own it. And then after I did that, I had to also forgive those that dropped the ball concerning me. And because I was able to see, not only was I able to see, it made me understand why I was in the situation that I was in, which impacted who I was. And once I began to talk about those things and deal with those things, and I sat in those things, I had to cry about those things. I had to release people and forgive. And there was a whole lot of work that came into getting to the root of me. Because although these things happened in my past, they had impacted my life through because after time, without acknowledging or dealing or healing, I built coping mechanisms. And those coping mechanisms was like covering and like covers and covers and covers, where it was so thick of operating that I was not even operating in who I was. I literally was operating out of survival and trauma and pain to deal the best way I knew how. So I had a lot of unhealthy patterns, made a lot of unhealthy choices, got into very bad relationships. I didn't understand boundaries because I had no identity and no value to myself. I was only as worthy of where I had been or what others had said or what I had did. So I am telling you all today, it is so important to do the inside work and get to the root of yourself, so that not only can you take your power back by not being defined by where you've been or what happened to you, but owning your own power by saying, this is who I choose to be. I'm not defined by my pain. I'm not defined by my past. I'm not even defined by my failures. And when you begin to love on yourself, forgive yourself as you forgive others, you begin to heal in such a way that is out of this world. And it's rewarding. And it does not matter how long it takes. Don't let no one say it's too late. You're this age or that age. You know what? As long as you have breath in your body and you have an opportunity every single day to live in fulfillment every day and discover who you are outside of where you've been, and you then take your power by once you heal and forgive yourself. And give yourself time. Give yourself time. And all of the things that you went through or you go through in life, they become on purpose. So instead of it being like, I can't believe I went through this or this happened to me, it's like you take your power in it by saying, although these things happened to me, I'm going to use these things to build myself stronger. I'm going to use these things to make me great. I'm going to use these things to not be that person. I'm going to use those things to love where I wasn't loved, or give where I wasn't, or wherever I was rejected. I will not reject myself by continuing to deny myself. Me. You. So it is so important to love yourself. And when you learn to love yourself, and yes, in that process, it gets dirty, it gets ugly, and you never know what you have to go through to get to that place. For me, it took some very bad places. And by the grace of God, I not only escaped them, I made them through it, and I came out alive. And I used it for my good. Yeah. Now they become my badge of honor, my strength. Yeah, I'm talking to you as I'm talking to me. So again, it takes time. And it does take, it might be conversations that you have to have with people. You might get to a place where you have to cut people off, but it's necessary. So in concluding, where we are, because it's crazy because when you get into who you are, you're almost going through the keys, but it is also important. So I want to say something that's, to me, that is very important, that needs to be said before I conclude the video, this message. I, like others, we applaud the survivor. I am a survivor. Many people have survived many things, but we cannot put a gold medal on a survivor and just say that's it. Like we survivors, that's survivor mode. So that is, surviving things is not peaceful. It's not like you did it like, okay, you survived. You had to look over your back. You had to run and make it through. Whatever it is to get there, you had to do it. But we never consider the seat of the impact after the survivor survived. And a lot of survivors, as myself included, we wound up with post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. We're impacted by that we had to survive through. So it's deeper and more important than just saying I survived. Yes, that is a big part, because you couldn't even be here to tell your story had you not survived, had you not made it to the other side. But once you make it to the other side and you do the necessary work to heal effectively so that you can thrive, and not only thrive but live effectively, healthy. That, until you get to a place where you can live free, live healthy, and become whole, that's the reward. So I say to you all, knowing who you are is the most beautifulest thing. For me, knowing who I am and discovering myself, it is such a freedom, right? Because I'm able to use, and it's not like situational. It becomes your character. It becomes who you are, to what you will tolerate, things that you will accept. Boundaries are healthy and important, because the more that you value yourself, you're not going to let no one waste you. You're not going to waste yourself. You're not going to waste your time or energy on anything that takes away from all the work that you did to become. So that is all I have for you today. And I pray and I hope that you got some great things out of this discussion today. Because I did. Even the reminder to continue to stand in living in fulfillment every day. Sometimes we have to remind ourselves where we've been, to say, hey, I went through that. It cost me something to get here. And I'm not willing to forfeit it for anyone. So thank you guys for being a part of this discussion tonight, knowing who we are. And if you already know who you are, own it. And don't allow anything or anyone, including yourself, to devalue you. And for those that don't know, I hope that this was good information and tools for you to be able to start your journey if you haven't already. Thank you again for all that are here and that are supporting, and for those that have subscribed and those that have not subscribed. Please go and subscribe to this channel. And I pray that you guys continue to follow and to be a part of Life with LaToya. You guys, until next time, have a good day.